More is coming to light after yesterday's historic arraignment of former President Donald Trump. For a quick recap and to look where this case can go, I'm joined by criminal defense attorney A. Scott Bolden again. Good to see you, Scott. Good morning.
Good seeing you.
All right, so last time we spoke, we were discussing what could possibly come out yesterday. And I'm curious, from your legal perspective, was it more or less than you expected, or was it too bare bone for you, the indictment?
Well, it's complicated. For the GOP, this indictment read like a dream to them because it said they would argue politics played in this. The reality is that it's 34 counts of basically falsifying business records. They're very simple. It's not a speaking indictment. And so it's going to be a pretty simple, direct case. The challenge for the government is this a felony? Is there an alternative crime, or was this done in furtherance of a crime? And was it state or federal campaign finance violations? Was it a state tax filing violation? And so the other thing about the indictment is it did not have conspiracy or racketeering in it, even though you had AMI, you had Donald Trump and Cohen all conspiring to do this in 3 different occasions. So it was underwhelming because I thought it would be other stuff in there, but it's a rock-solid indictment and a pretty simple case to put on.
A lot of people were surprised by these being felony counts. They felt like it was quite the jump from what was at least what sources were saying they would be. Can you explain how we got there?
Well, falsifying a business record is a misdemeanor. If it's done in furtherance of a crime, right, or stacking, as you said earlier, then it can be a felony. The government doesn't have to say what that other crime was. But I think they're going to have to disclose it to the court and to a jury because it begs the question, if this is a felony, then what's the other crime that it was in furtherance of? The other thing that you got to worry about is whether the case survives a motions practice, because the defense is going to say that it's nebulous or the indictment is insufficient because it did not name what that felony, what that other crime was. The government's going to say they don't have to, and so we'll have to see.
The gag order, you and I were talking about this off air. The judge decided not to move forward with that. Can you explain the reasoning for that? What is a judge considering when it comes to this?
Well, he doesn't want the defendant or the prosecution to unduly and unfairly taint the jury pool, if you will, or to taint the case in the integrity of the court. Judge Marchand yesterday raised the issue, or the government raised the issue about some of the tweets that Donald Trump put out, which were dangerous and could incite violence, if you will.
Which one would say is the perfect case to impose a gag order, and yet?
Well, gag orders are not popular, if you will, or the Supreme Court says the First Amendment trumps a gag order unless there are extreme circumstances, or there's a real threat that the jury pool or the case or the integrity of the court is going to be negatively impacted. In this case, because Donald Trump is running for president, I think Judge Marchand was trying to balance that. But what did Donald Trump do yesterday after court? He went and did a press conference, attacked the judge, his wife, and his kids, if you will, for what they've done work-wise, if you will. And he also attacked Alvin Bragg again. If you look at juxtaposition of January 6th and now this case right here, you've got the makings of some pretty dangerous conversations or dangerous rhetoric. And I think the judge is going to revisit it.
I was going to say, so this is not to say that it could not be imposed further down the line, a gag order. It all depends on what Trump says.
And the judge has discretion. And if Donald Trump keeps talking about this, look for the court to revisit it. Because remember, what Donald Trump really doesn't get is it's a criminal case. He's never had a criminal case before. This judge can lock him up. And nobody believes me when I say that because he's the former president. But the government can ask for him to be sanctioned or what have you.
And in the court system, you're supposed to be treated like any other civilian, of course, so any other citizen. All right, we'll be talking about this, of course, because we know that this is going to be a long road to the next hearing in December, I believe. So we'll make sure to bring you on and obviously take advantage of your legal insight as well. Thank you so much, Scott, for coming on.